This video is only one part of an in-depth review, so check out the rest at thegoodride.com. Thanks for watching. I'm James Beastie. Welcome to The Good Ride, where it's not about our pride, it's just about how it rides. And I'm here to talk about the Rossignol Juggernaut. Next to it is the Jibsaw. And I compared these two back and forth a lot, rode them the same day, same bindings and same boots. The boots were the Burton Kendo, and the bindings were either the Union Atlas or the Union Contact Pro. I got this in everything from pretty firm to hard snow to medium to soft snow. No powder though. To give you a short summary, take the Jibsaw next to me and give it some steroids, make it a little stiffer, give it a little more camber, and you have the Juggernaut. It's a pretty technical, not super technical, but definitely on the technical side of mountain freestyle. It carves really hard, it turns really quick, it's got lots of pop, especially for Rossi, and it was the poppiest Rossi I think I've ever tried. It's just a good, aggressive mountain freestyle ride for those who want almost full camber, but still want it to be a little more forgiving, a little less locked in than your straight up, full on traditional camber ride. Now, when it comes to sizing, this 155 felt perfect. I wish I had the Jibsaw, I think in the same size. I think they do 55 and 57. This is a 57. But it was nice to have this bigger size coming off this because this feels like so much more board than the 57. And it's only 2 centimeters, but millimeters as well as centimeters matter in snowboarding. I wish it mattered in sex. But this fit really well for my size 9 boots and my 195 pounds. Now, when it comes to shape, these are both true twins. Very centered, very between the feet. And then you add that camber profile to it that just has a little bit of early rise in the nose and tail. You really feel semi-locked in, not fully locked in, but way past stable and forgiving. You're getting into that area where if you get off your game and you catch an edge, you could suffer for it. You do get, though, a lot of drive and a lot of energy, and it tracks really well underfoot. It one-foots and flat bases really well, and you have that same consistent feel in almost all conditions that you want to ride. Not the easiest for skidded turns. The Jibsaw is a little better, but if you want a board that skids turns much easier, you probably want to go to the Revenant, the 1LF, or the Resurgence. All of those have significantly less camber than both these boards and skid their turns a lot easier. Let's talk flex here. Pretty stiff ride, really stiff. I mean, on snow, this feels a little softer, a little easier to manage, especially in the tip and tail, which is still very stiff. In comparison now to the Jibsaw, you can see this is pretty stiff, medium stiff here, but it's a little softer in the tip and tail. You really notice that on snow more than the flex you see here on line, I guess. But it still butters pretty well, but it's a lot more work to get this to butter than it is the Jibsaw. That just felt just right. A little more challenging than their all mountain boards, the Resurgence, the Revenant, and the 1LF, but still very doable and very fun. I actually preferred this the best for buttering, but this just has pop. And if you're looking for something with exceptional ollie power, this is the one, but it takes a lot of work to get that back. I felt that at my averageness was much easier with the Jibsaw, but if I was feeling lively and aggressive and I wanted to really give her, I got a lot back with this guy. Now, when it comes to speed, both have very good mountain competence and they kept their speed very well. I really felt like they could both be damp and drivey, but the Juggernaut was a little faster than the Jibsaw. I actually like these a little better, just a touch better than the all mountain boards, the Resurgence, the Revenant, and the 1LF. Just a little bit, just because of that camber. It felt a little more stable, a little less chattery in the tip and tail. Really kept its speed really well. The base glide's okay, nothing amazing, nothing horrible. And in uneven terrain, both these boards are great all-day resort rides. I feel like I like the less catchy, more forgiving ride of the Jibsaw compared to the Juggernaut, but you can ride these all day and they're not very fatiguing rides. Now when it comes to edge hold, the Jibsaw wins, and that's the board you want for hard snow mountain freestyle riding. But the Juggernaut is really close. The 5S technology has a pretty pronounced bump in the middle and then a much mellower disruption going towards the tip and tail than the Jibsaw here. But it still grips really well without grabbing too much in soft snow, and this is my preferred edge hold technology for all condition riding. When it comes to turn initiation, both are pretty quick and both have a really fun turning experience. It has that kind of middle ground side cut that responds well to almost any kind of turn you want to make. And this is my favorite board to make hard carving turns on in their all mountain and mountain freestyle line. It was almost up there with the XV, but this is more of a mountain freestyle board that is a tapered directional board, and they feel so different. It's just about personal preference more. I really like the spring out of this turn, and I really wish that they had taken this camber profile in the Jibsaw and the Juggernaut and put at least one of these camber profiles in each of the 3 boards. That would have killed it. But as it stands, I'd love to have the Jibsaw, the Juggernaut, and the XV. I'd have a great life with those 2 boards if I had to only choose 2 boards, which would be a nightmare for me. In terms of powder, these have almost no setback on board. So if you want something that can ride centered on groomers and then set back in powder, you want either the 1LF, the Revenant, or the Resurgence. Those 3 boards are all mountain boards. These are all mountain freestyle boards. You barely get back from center of board on these in comparison to those. So this is what you want to ride centered. I would definitely rather be on the Jibsaw because it has more rocker, a little more easy float. Riding switch or regular, it's going to be better. But if you're an old school camber rider and you know how to make a camber twin plain and powder and keep its speed, and you don't make quick stops because you don't know where you're going, or you make a mistake and you don't like the line you take and then you have to make a quick turn. If you just got that set path the whole way down, you know how to plane your board, this is going to be fine in powder. But for your average rider who makes mistakes all the time, I would never take this out in over a foot. When it comes to switch and riding park, both these boards were just so easy switch. This just is the technical park rider's board. I think both these boards just rip it in the pipe. They were my favorite boards of all the Rossi line to ride in the pipe, and some of my favorites to ride in pipe in general. I would love to have these boards in my quiver for those hard days, probably more the Jibsaw, but when I'm feeling aggressive and I want to drive hard wall to wall, this would be the board. In terms of jumps, this is a great board. It tracks well into natural features that I hit on the mountain, but Nick also liked these boards in the park. Jibbing, not a great jibber, but a really fun jumper. The Jibsaw is a little more jib friendly, but both of these are more like, despite its name, they're more pipe, jumps, and mountain freestyle than they are jib boards. But the Jibsaw does pretty well. Nick liked it pretty much, but it was a little big for him. So overall, I really like these boards. Both were really fun in their own way. If you want lots of camber, drive, and energy, you've got to go Juggernaut. If you want a little more playful, a little more forgiving, a little more balanced ride in all areas, you want the Jibsaw. All our reviews are a best effort, objective opinion from an average rider's perspective. There's no brand oversight, and we're free to say whatever we want. We send back everything unless it's a favorite, then we ask to keep those or straight up buy them. Now, if you need advice, fill out the eHarmony profile in the Contact Us section of the site. It's the only way I can help you properly. If you want to support us, and if what we reviewed appeals to you, it helps if you buy through our links. So, thanks for watching.